Finally Revealed. In this episode, we want to continue our talk with Lisa Epps. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Michelle.
She's with the Spencer Fane Law Firm in Kansas City, Missouri, and we want to talk some more about business bankruptcy. And in this episode, we want to talk about an individual Chapter 11, okay? All right, so first of all, why would you do an individual 11 over a 7 or a 13?
Well, an individual 11 is when it's primarily a business debtor who has guaranteed a lot of the bank debt and or runs a business in their own name where the debts are primarily business and they want to maintain the business operation. So Chapter 11 will allow them to do that under certain circumstances. A Chapter 7 is a bankruptcy where it's a straight liquidation and a trustee is appointed, and so if the debtor no longer wants to operate its business or try to relieve itself if it's guaranteed debt, then a Chapter 7 would be that option. And a Chapter 13 is really for a debtor whose debts are primarily consumer debts, and they'll, depending on what your income level is, then you'll propose a plan that way. But Chapter 11 is for the business individual.
And when you want to keep it. And we have another video, and I'll post the link below, on the difference between a 7 and a 13. And in particular, you have to show the amount of debt and the amount of assets that you have. And you have to be eligible to file a Chapter 7 based upon certain standards in the community. However, certain business debts, and specifically business debts or guaranteed debts, can be excluded from that analysis, so you can qualify. So it's important to know when you want to keep your business going, then you want to look at 11.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so then what would an individual, this type of a business 11, what kind of a plan would you have?
Well, one thing, and this gets into the weeds, but I assure you that if you don't understand this, then there is no reason for you to file a Chapter 11 as an individual. For you to be able to continue operating your business and maintain all of your assets, you have to come up with a plan where you pay all of your debts in full over time with interest. So while you may be able to spread out those payments, you won't be able to eliminate those payments unless you've got the agreement of the creditor. We've had situations where an individual may have a multi-million-dollar judgment against them. And so they come in and want to talk about options in terms of how can I keep, my business and my business assets. And we explain to them, because of something called the absolute priority rule, which is nothing you need to remember, but something that any good bankruptcy lawyer should tell you, that means that all of your creditors have to be paid before you get to keep anything. And so if there is no way that you will be able to pay that multi-million-dollar judgment, then a Chapter 11 bankruptcy may not be for you, and you should talk with your attorney about different options. Now, there are lots of discussions about whether Congress may change this rule, because the whole idea of bankruptcy is to allow you to have a fresh start and to reorganize. But if you can't come up with a way to pay your debts in full over time, period of 3 years, 5 years, whatever that time period may be, it will be difficult for you to have a Chapter 11 plan or a Chapter 11 case be successful.
So what they need to consider then perhaps is what the Chapter 11 will get them, which is some breathing time, and maybe they can adjust the terms or the time frame so that they can take advantage of a particular new product launch or a new marketing strategy that will bring in the additional revenue that will cover it. So you just need to maybe make some adjustments and get a little bit of time. So what Lisa's saying is then you need to have your own plan as far as what you think will work in order then to put it into a bankruptcy plan to be capable of being confirmed.
Absolutely. And as Michelle said, I mean, if you've got a lot of bank debt, there's certainly the opportunity in a Chapter 11 case to extend the payment terms, to lower the interest rate, to make payments in a different way, interest only for a certain period of time, and then some type of a balloon at the end. So, there are, a variety of different ways to kind of attack the problem, but individual 11s sound great until you realize that you have to pay all of your debts in full. And I think that a lot of people, unlike a lot of other bankruptcies, individual Chapter 11s are a special and unique animal. And plans do get confirmed and people do move on, but it's a little bit more challenging than some of the other cases.
Okay, good. Well, we want you to be prepared, so that's very helpful. Thanks so much, Lisa.
Thanks, Michelle.